Hey all, welcome back to the lab. In this video, we're going to be talking about how I created a bot for this F# incremental clicker game using JavaScript. So the 2024 F# Advent calendar is in full swing, and this is run by Sergey Tihon, who does the F# weekly, and basically we just get a bunch of really cool and interesting blog posts about F#. And now in one of these is a pretty cool write-up about creating a web game using F#, Fable, and Feliz. Basically, they used F# as the game logic, and then they used Fable and Feliz to transpile this into JavaScript and React, and turn this into a little clicker game. And that web game is Truffle Wizard, which is one of those incremental clickers like Cookie Clicker, where you click the button, numbers go burr, and you try to get infinite numbers basically. Now I think these clickers are kind of fun, but I have a habit of trying to automate them. Here's a post about me doing that with one of Neil.Fun's little games. And I thought this project deserved a little bit more airtime, and so here we're going to attempt to automate it, and also, here's my recommendation to go give it a try, because it's a cool little project. Alright, so now let's talk about automating clicks. So Truffle Wizard displays its game board in basically two sections. You have an inventory with buttons to click to add resources, increase storage, and create generators, and then adventures, which are how you progress the story and unlock new technologies and stuff like that. And so to automate this, we're going to attempt to find the game view, find the relevant buttons, and then click them. And then we also need to add a little bit of randomness in here to try to jiggle ourselves out of local maxima. Because, if you keep just spending your money on the first buttons, you're going to spend all your money on the lowest cost resources, but eventually you need to buy the more expensive ones. And so we're not doing anything very smart here. We're just using randomization, and eventually we'll get there. All right, but let me give you, I guess, an idea of how this works. And so here I have Truffle Wizard open in my browser. I have copied and pasted this code in here, and basically we can see that it's automating. Now there's some issues here, right? I have a ton of these generators over here, a ton of these generators over here, but we are still blocked on just getting 77 truffles because it hasn't built the truffle pantry and isn't generating enough truffles. So it's not a very smart automation, but it automates it. All right, let's walk through the code real fast to kind of show you what it does. And then I'll talk through how to use it, and then we'll talk about some known issues here. So probably the best way for me to give you syntax highlighting is just looking directly in Chrome, where I copied and pasted this in the console. So try to make this bigger. Basically what I do is I create a little function for shuffling arrays. Basically it just sorts an array by random. And then here we have the function click all game buttons. And then what we do is we basically create an interval for this, and we say, hey, run click all game buttons every 10 milliseconds. So this is running about 100 times a second. Now in each of these queries, what we're going to do is we're going to find all the table buttons. This is going to, oh, we got a new unlock, so let's click that. It's going to try to look for the buttons that are in this table. So we look for Feliz app, which is, if we look at the elements, Feliz app is the div ID for the game view itself. And then the actual game buttons are within this table. And then we look for all of the buttons in there is what we're saying. And then we also need to get the adventures button. And so for that's things down here, we can see that it has the class of adventures and then button. And so that's what we're targeting. We say, hey, look inside Feliz app, get the one with the class table container, and then get the button. And then for Feliz app, get .adventures and then get the button. So that's how we're getting both of these. And then we are putting them all into one big array and then shuffling them so that we kind of randomize the order we click things in to avoid that local maxima problem. We log out 1 out of 1,000 times just so we know that this is actually running. And then we just loop over the buttons and maybe click this again, adding another layer of randomization into here, just so we can try to avoid the maxima problem. So that's basically how this works. Now for usage, there are a few peculiarities of this. Obviously you got to load up the game in the browser, but then you do need to expand this iframe. I don't know why this is, but basically if I refresh this, if I just run the code directly, it usually does not work because it cannot find the items in the iframe. Let me see if I can show you this. So if I just paste this in and run it, it cannot find any of these buttons, even though this is the exact same code that was working before. But if I inspect this and I ensure that the surrounding iframe here is open, and then I come back here and I run this again, it now starts working. I asked Claude about this and tried to look this up, and it seems like it's a quirk with Chrome where it will not allow you to select items inside of an iframe. until you like open it in the inspector, which seems very weird, but that's just kind of what we're dealing with. So that's one quirk of using this. The next thing is obviously I just pasted this in, but Chrome by default usually does not allow you to paste random code into the console, which, you know, makes sense. Most people should not be doing this, especially if you didn't write the code. So you might have to turn this on. For me, I had to like type out allow pasting or something like that. One of these like things will tell you why it's not running it, and then you just read that, and then you know, confirm that you actually do want to run this. All right, known issues. All right, so obviously this is a really dumb script, right? We are getting a ton of certain resources like onions and, you know, onion storage, but we still have not even gotten the 77 truffles that are needed for this. And so it is really just a greedy, dumb script, and so it will take a while. Sometimes it's better to just like refresh and do it manually if you really need to. So get that, then this will create all the truffles, and then you can do that, and then you can reset it, you know? But, you know, that's just a quirk of it being a dumb script. And then, yeah, the script cannot find the initial table on initial load because it's in an iframe or something. So you have to inspect, actually open the elements, and then go back to the console to run it, which is annoying. But, like, I don't know how to get around that. Let me know if you know how to get around that so I can automate more games. But, yeah, that's what we had to do for this. Next. Now, I probably spent more time trying to automate this game than actually playing it, but you know, that's how I like to game sometimes, so I think that's okay. I previously attempted some F# game builds in Godot, but didn't get very far, and I agree with the author that the F# does not integrate super smoothly with some of these game engines that lead a bit more OO, but I am really happy to see their success and experiments trying out other paths, especially this kind of like functional approach where all of the logic updates functionally, and then you just pipe that into a render function and actually render it, which is a cool idea. It's more like the Elmish idea of things. And so that's inspired me to try this again, so might be doing that pretty soon. Now, if you like this post, obviously go check out the game, go check out the blog post. I think it was pretty great. But you might also like some of mine, like why F# is a fun programming language, how I got interested in F#, or how popular is F# in 2024. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.